Mr. Whitaker, thank you for your presence here today. This hearing is important because there are many Americans throughout the country who are confused. I'm confused. I really am. We're all trying to figure out, who are you, where did you come from, and how the heck did you become the head of the Department of Justice? So hopefully you can help me work through this confusion.
All right, well, Congressman,
Mr. Whitaker, that was a statement, not a question.
Okay.
I assume you know the difference.
Only days into the democratically controlled Congress, the House Judiciary Committee held a hearing with Trump's acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Democrats are concerned that Whitaker's appointment serves one purpose: to undermine Mueller's investigation. And they have reason to be concerned. Whitaker wrote a CNN op-ed in 2017 admonishing Mueller for coming dangerously close to crossing a red line by delving into Trump's personal finances. Now, only by looking into Trump's personal finances would we know if there's any financial relationship with Russia that's impacting his decision-making as president. But hey, that's just coming from someone who hasn't taken a loyalty oath to the president. Here are some of the top moments from what amounted to an often contentious hearing.
When our members ask if you conveyed sensitive information to the president, or ignored ethics advice at the direction of the president, or worked with the White House to orchestrate the firing of your predecessor, the answer should be no. Your failure to respond fully to our questions here today in no way limits the ability of this committee to get the answers in the longer run, even if you are a private citizen when we finally learn the truth. And although I am willing to work with the department to obtain this information, I will not allow that process to drag out for weeks and months. The time for this administration to postpone accountability is over. In your capacity as acting Attorney General, have you ever been asked to approve any request or action to be taken by the special counsel?
Mr. Chairman, I see that your 5 minutes is up, and so I'm here voluntarily. We have agreed to 5-minute rounds, and
the committee.
I think that's a fine place to end the 5-minute rule.
The Attorney General was in the middle of saying something. Answer the question, please.
When parents are prosecuted and sentenced, they are in DOJ custody, correct?
correct. Their custody is transferred to the U.S. Marshals.
So these parents were in your custody. Your attorneys are prosecuting them, and your department was not tracking parents who were separated from their children. Do you know what kind of damage has been done to children and families across this country? Children who will never get to see their parents again. Do you understand the magnitude of that?
I understand that the policy of zero tolerance.
Has the Justice Department started tracking parents and legal guardians who were separated from their children at the border?
The time of the gentlelady has expired. The witness may answer the question.
Congresswoman, I appreciate your passion for this issue, and I know that you've been very involved on the front lines of this.
This is about more than my passion. This is about the children's future, Mr. Whitaker. Please answer. Go ahead, please.
The witness may answer.
Congresswoman, the responsibility for the arrest, the detention, and together with the custody of the children was handled by DHS and HHS before those people were ever transferred to DOJ custody through the U.S. Marshals.
Possibly restored?
It was. I'm sorry, what was your... I don't know if your time's been restored or not.
Mr. Attorney General, we're not joking here, and your humor is not acceptable. Now, you are here because we have a constitutional duty to ask questions, and the Congress has the right to establish government rules. The rules are that you are here. So I need to ask the question, and I need to have my time restored so that you can behave appropriately.
There's no sentence in the U.S. Constitution that says the sitting president of the United States cannot be indicted, correct?
Congressman, because that is the opinion of the Office of Legal
I don't
Counsel,
actually care what DOJ policy is. I'm asking about the Constitution.
With the practices of the Department
Mr. Whitaker,
of Justice
it's just a yes or no question.
Years.
Mr. Whitaker, I'm asking you a factual.
Under both administrations.
After this hearing, you can spin the Constitution all you want. As you sit here today, you just have to answer a factual yes or no question. I'm going to make it even easier for you. There's no sentence in the Constitution that says, quote, the sitting president of the United States cannot be indicted, unquote. Correct?
Congressman,
yes or no?
As you know, I would
have
refer
it
you
right here.
I I have a copy myself.
Right, so is that sentence in this Constitution? It's not, correct?
The
I'm not
court-
trying to trick you. It's
No,
not a hard question.
I don't, again.
It's a
it is-
founding document of our federal government. Is that sentence in this Constitution?
Congressman, you and I both know that the way that the OLC opinion is written.
I'm asking about the
lays out a
Constitution,
very
the
clear
founding-
question as to why the President of the United States.
I'm just asking about the Constitution.
Sitting President of the United States can't be indicted.
I'm just going to, Mr. Chair, I'm just going to submit the U.S. Constitution for the
Note for the record that, Mr. Whitaker, that you owe us responses on a number of issues raised here today, responses that we intend to secure, including but not limited to the times and dates you were briefed on the special counsel's investigation, your communications with the President after you received those briefings, the basis for your statement that the special counsel's investigation is reaching its conclusion, and whether you told the special counsel not to take any specific investigative or prosecutorial steps. I would also note that your testimony was at best inconsistent on the topic of your communications with the White House prior to your tenure at the department. It is not credible that you both interviewed for a job handling the President's response to the special counsel's investigation and never conveyed your opinions about that investigation to the White House. We require answers to these questions. I ask the department to work with the committee to provide them. As part of that work, I fully intend to call you back for an interview under subpoena if necessary, and I expect more fulsome answers at that time. Without objection, all members will have 5 legislative days to submit additional written questions for the witness or additional materials for the record. And with the thanks of the chairman, the hearing is adjourned.
And finally, this might be a good time for a reminder that Hillary Clinton sat through 11 hours of partisan grilling over Benghazi without a single complaint. Here's what happens when Whitaker was given a break of his own.
At the request of a number of people, the committee will stand in recess for 5 minutes.
I get 5 minutes for lunch?